Hi everyone, it's Jen. Um, it is a year and almost a month since my double mastectomy. I feel like I should start being more specific on these vlogs for people that haven't been watching the past 100 and however many days. Wow, 100. Day 100 was a very long time ago. Wow. I must be at like almost day 400. Holy shit. Man. Wow, that was weird. It's funny what pops up when I'm doing these vlogs. Wow, that was weird. So it's 365 days plus about 3 weeks. So it's at 20 days, so about 385 days. So I guess I'm on day like 385 since my surgery. Definitely over day 400 since my breast cancer diagnosis. That's a large fucking number. Holy shit, 400 days. God, that's random. That's not even why I came on, because I just realized. Anyway, I was saying I need to be a little bit more specific for people that haven't been watching for the past 400 days of my journey, as to what's going on and like where I am in the whole process and stuff. So actually I took notes today. Well, my notes, it's like 2 lines. I took notes on really pretty paper. See the pretty paper? It's scalloped on the sides and it's green. I jotted some stuff down just because I just finished with my 3rd doctor / also dentist appointment today, and 3 appointments in one day is like way too much, and I'm exhausted and my stomach hurts, and I just had a couple of revelations while I was going through those, especially the fact that I have no cavities, which is a big deal. Because one of the things that really stood out when before I found out I had cancer was it was about 6 months before my diagnosis. I went for a cleaning and I had 6 cavities, and I'm like, what? I'm so ridiculously like on top of my teeth. Yeah, my this is getting to a point with my teeth because I'm buying myself a belated 50th birthday present in the form of teeth. So yeah, I'm very diligent about my dental care, and you're like, what does this have to do with breast cancer? But it was just a sign when I had 6 cavities. I'm like, why on earth would I have 6 cavities? Like I use a water pick, I floss, I use fluoride, which I brush and then floss through. I do all these things, and it made no sense. And it was just another sign that like something was wrong with my body. So my 3rd appointment today, which I just got back from, which if you look closely, I even still have the marks from the glasses they put on. This is how like I don't prepare for these vlogs, and apparently that's very endearing for a lot of people, that I don't like get all dolled up and stuff before I just hit like record, because I have no makeup. My cheeks are flushed. I don't know why. My roots are already gray, which is crazy because I think I just colored my hair like 2 weeks ago. But I've been in such a mode of anger and frustration and just being pissed off at most people, most things. I'm just in a phase right now of anger again. I thought I had gone through all my stages of whatever after I found, that's a bad word, I hate that word, stages, whatever. I thought I had gone through all my stages of grief, but then the 1 year mark comes and then it's just weird. It's just bizarre. So that's where I want to start with today, is because it's a year and a month since, just about a year and a month since surgery. I had a double mastectomy. I hate saying that. But because of the timing, and with other health things that were going on before I was diagnosed, now's the time when like everyone's doing follow-ups to see how you're doing, because it's been a year. And it just brings up a lot. It brings up a lot, and there's a very large fear with people that have had cancer of recurrence. Fear of recurrence is something very real, and basically anytime you notice something about your body, or you go to a doctor appointment or something, there's this fear that they're going to say, oh, by the way, we missed this cell and your cancer's actually here too, or whatever. So that fear of recurrence is very much there. And especially when you're going through all these like 1 year follow-ups, it's just more doctors and talking about different body parts that potentially could have something go wrong with them. I'm very much in glass half empty land, so if you're looking to be cheered up or motivated, this is not the vlog today for that. I have a lot of sarcasm, but I do have well, I say happy news because I haven't gotten the estimate to see how much it costs yet, so we'll have to see. But anyway, so another weird thing besides my teeth that happened, the first appointment that I had this morning was with a urologist. I had a kidney stone almost a year before I was diagnosed with cancer, and they told me that my meds are wearing off because I'm having a hot flash. And I'm wearing like 2 shirts. I should probably take one off, but I'm in weird sensory land too, because my Lupron, I'm having my Lupron in 2 days, and I've been in like huge, maybe that should be something to mention too. I'm gonna jot a note so that I'm not all over the place, so you can kind of, I'm writing on here sex. Another reason why you shouldn't have your minors watch in case they're on here, because I do want to bring that up. What was the other thing I was going to bring up? I don't remember about the Lupron. I'll get to it. Anyway, so I had a kidney stone just about a year before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Don't really know where that came from. Totally out of left field. Anyway, fast forward. So that was about 2 years now. I was meeting with a urologist, and then she had me meet with an endocrinologist and all those ologists and blah, blah, blah. Kidney stones are more painful than childbirth because I've birthed 2 children, and I've never had pain like I had when I had the kidney stone. It was crazy. But anyway, I had an ultrasound done, also triggering whenever they do scans, because you think they're going to find something. And I had the results. I've had the results back for a couple of weeks now, but they called because they said they wanted to have me meet with the urologist to talk about the results. I wasn't even nervous about that because I looked at the results and it said that that like there was no malignancy with anything. There were no kidney stones either, so I'm like, I think that I'm fine. So this morning I met through Zoom. My appointment was through Zoom because I'm like, urologists, they're not going to do anything, but they can't see my kidneys by looking at me. So they don't, like, you don't, well, I didn't have to be in the office for anything. And I never actually even saw her face. She had my images from my ultrasound up on the screen. So, and weirdly, when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, am I pregnant? Haha, I'm not pregnant. It's like virtually impossible for me to be pregnant with the medications that I'm on right now. But it looks like it was a image of one of my kidneys, but I mean, you really can't tell if it's that or if it's like an embryo. They really don't look that much different. They're, these black ovals, which could be anything. So yeah, she said my left kidney was clear, no stones. My right kidney was clear, no stones. Like, they look like what they're supposed to look like. They looked at my bladder too, and like I could see my bladder, and it was like, I guess, a perfectly shaped bladder. Nothing weird on it, nothing inside of it. It was like this black thing with a very clear outline, and it was just weird to hear. And I feel like I should be more excited. I mean, I'm happy, can't you tell? I feel like I should be more excited to hear, like, there's nothing wrong with my kidneys. Awesome. And there's nothing wrong with my bladder. Like, even more awesome. They check your liver too, which my liver is fine. They found a shadow or something, but apparently that just pops up. It's not a tumor. I've asked a billion times, and I've had it for years. But yeah, so like she tells me that my other organs are okay, and I believe her because I can see it. Like, I know now what it looks like, at least for breast cancer, to have a tumor, and know what it looks like on an ultrasound screen. I mean, yes, you have the black oval for when the tumor was, at least for me, but there was also, if I recall correctly, there was like a white dot in the middle of it. And when they're taking, what was the other scan? I think it was the MRI. or maybe it was the mammogram. I can't remember. It must have been the mammogram. The cancer shows up as like, just like ultra white. Because the mammogram is like grayish. And then, I mean, you're going to have white in there anyway, or more of a lighter gray color. And my, former breasts, wherever they are, I don't even know how to refer to them, but my birth boobs, were, dense. A lot of women get, gosh, I haven't vlogged in a while. I keep saying, a lot of women get notices about it having dense breasts, and that was the case for me. So when you look at the image on, from the mammogram, man, I had too many appointments today. I had to like really think. You see like a lighter grayish stuff, but when it's like almost white, like that's a problem, and that's what the cancer looked like there. Anyway, so yeah, so I had that this morning, and it was a nice sense of almost completion. I've been on meds for the kidney stone, and they're gonna keep me on them till December, and then run some labs in December, and if they're all clean, then I don't have to be on the meds anymore, which is awesome because the meds are like a diuretic, which seems like it should make you lose weight and not have water weight, but with everything else going on, that's just not the case. And the fact that they're like drying out your system is just not enjoyable. So, cuckoo clock. I knew it was 4:45 when I started this. So yeah, that fear of recurrence is there. And then I had PT afterwards. PT hurt today. I was in more pain during PT than I had been in a very long time. And, it's funny because when I went in, I'm like, I'm not quite sure what to work on. My shoulder blade still seems to be the area that has, that's like lingering. And it makes sense. I mean, like when you go for a back massage, of course it feels good because people have knots and stuff. And that's like the last part really for it to heal. So she really was digging in there today and doing stuff. And, but I was proud of myself. I guess that's the glass half full thing. I was proud of myself that at least like I spoke up, or not even spoke up. I just got up. I was laying on my stomach, which is not the most comfortable thing to do still. And when it was too much for me with what she was doing, like I didn't raise my hand. I just like started getting up off the table because I'm like, not off. I lifted I lifted myself up on my arms just to like have her get off my shoulder blade. But it really hurt. And then she moved on to I asked her to, because I'm not seeing her as frequently now as I was before. And I asked her if she could just do something with my Achilles just to like get me going until the next time that I see her, because I haven't been having issues with my Achilles in a while. Part of that is my footwear. I've been wearing heels a lot more, and if you have heels on, you don't have the pressure on your heel. Clearly, it's more in the ball of your foot. So that's been bothering me less. As I do this, my hand hurts because my hand and the cyst that's here, that's still bothering me. And it's another appointment to make to go see a hand doctor about this stupid cyst that's on here, because it's just, it's annoying. I don't think there's anything like seriously wrong. I don't know if I want a needle put in my hand to like relieve whatever's inside of this. I don't think it's cancer. I just think it's annoying and it's hard to like stretch. But she taped me up again on my heel for the Achilles. She takes a piece of kinesiology tape and starts on my heel, and I have my heel like lifted up. Oh, as I just did that, like it hurts. And it goes up the back of my calf. And that helps like a ton. It helps a ton. And I'll keep that on for like 3 days or so. I did not have her tape my boob. I will get to my boob when I talk about the sex part, where I talk about the Lupron. So hold on to that thought. So yeah, I was really nauseous. I didn't leave right away. I said I needed some water. I just had to sit there before I was heading home. And then like I got home and I was like super, super nauseous, just not feeling well. It was hard to even walk. It's like my whole body was like well, I mentioned the sensory stuff, like my whole body was like buzzing again. And so today's a Wednesday. On Friday will be my 12th Lupron, which is a milestone. I'm not going to say a celebration. It's a milestone to go through 12 Lupron injections. Like, it's a lot. And I think in my happy little, I do have a pessimistic land, or an optimistic land. In my happy optimistic land, I'm thinking, okay, I've gone through 12 Lupron injections. That should mean that I only have 12 left, because they originally told me that I would be on the Lupron for 2 years, and then my body should automatically be in menopause. My glass half emptiness will say, I don't know if my body's ready to fully be in menopause yet. I can thank it for wanting to stay young, but the fact that like the last 2 days, I feel like I'm bloated. I'm having like premenstrual symptoms, which I don't like, because if I was fully in menopause, I wouldn't have those things. I would think that there's nothing, like you're not on the lunar 28-day calendar anymore. I don't know, but I've been feeling thin the past like week. So to feel bloated was like, what the fuck? And my son took our scale with him to college, so I don't own a scale in my home anymore, which is good, because I don't want to have to weigh myself and just keep, I'm telling you, I've weighed myself as frequently as, like, every time I pass by or think about my weight, which is a lot, I pass by, I go on the scale, and it literally, at most, has changed by like 3 pounds in a year since surgery. So I'm like, what's the point of me even looking? Because for the most part, it's been the exact same number. Even when I think I'm watching myself, even like with food, even when I think that I'm exercising more, it's like the exact same freaking number. And I'm like, why am I looking at it? So it's good that it's out of the house. I can't even see it anymore. And that's like, you know, ta-ta, Felicia, whatever. So that was PT. And then I did work, here's my day, and then went to the dentist. So I don't like I like my dentist, like personally. I don't like going to the dentist. I think a lot of people don't like going to the dentist. And I just went for a cleaning. I had x-rays done. I didn't know I was having those done until I got there. And I'm like, fine. So now you can really tell me I have cavities, because now you can see them on an x-ray too. And in the back of my head, I knew that I wanted to talk to her about my tooth that chipped. And that's another part of the focus of today, is like the things that you can control. My boobs right now, I feel like I can't control them. Well, overall, I can't control them. How my body healed after the mastectomy, I did not really have much control over what the final outcome was of like what my boobs would look like. And again, I'll get more into that when I get to the sex part of the Lupron. Anyway, so my tooth, these are caps. I used to joke around with people, obviously clearly way before this all happened, that when people would say, oh, your teeth are so like straight or pretty, and I'd be like, yeah, they're not real. Like, ha ha ha, because they're not. These are crowns. That was done for like not cosmetic reasons. And it's sort of ironic now that I'm like, I would joke that these aren't real, but these are. And now it's like, these aren't real and these aren't either. So let's all plastic surgery, cosmetic it up, you know? Anyway, yeah, my son had, well, one of them I just had like cavities, a lot of cavities, or a lot of fillings, and over time they just started falling out. So I had one done, and then I was horsing around with my son when he was a baby, and we were doing like peekaboo, peekaboo, and then like he did peekaboo, hit me in the face with his head, and cracked my tooth in half. So it's a fun story, but I got pretty teeth out of it. So there you go. But they're crowns, so you have to be careful with crowns, because you can't like bite into well, you could bite into apples, but like you increase your chance of chipping it. I think when I had COVID, and I'm almost positive when I had COVID, I was eating, having chicken soup with bread, and the crust was hard. And I usually just like break it apart with my finger and then just put it in my mouth because I don't want to bite into crusty hard bread with my crowns, because crowns are friggin' expensive. Anyway, and the frustration of having COVID and being sick, I did, and my tooth chipped, and the one next to it chipped a little bit, like not enough that really even I don't even notice it. But they can't just, if you have a front tooth that's a crown, they can't just do one tooth, because the colors just won't match and it will just look funny. And I notice it with my teeth. I mean, I'm not, well, I guess I was going to say I'm not on air anymore, but that's funny as I'm saying that because I'm on YouTube right now because you're watching me. But before all that, I did anchor the news and I did host a talk show. So I was on air a lot more frequently. And I mean, obviously what my teeth looked like was important to me. So anyway, so I wanted, yeah, so I'm gonna need to have more than just the one fixed. And I don't know if it comes up as a medical thing. She's gonna look into it. Because like it could cause because of how it's chipped, like it could cause infection if I leave it alone. I can't leave it alone. I left it alone like this long. It's been over a year. But the point is, like, I don't want to leave it too long and then something goes wrong. And then the teeth that are mine on the side, she's like, well, they're going to look really gray. And I see it now in pictures that like my original teeth, my eye teeth, they look gray compared to my front ones because my front ones are like white, you know. And she's like, well, you could do veneers. I'm like, well, now I feel like ultra movie star because, you know, like like Snooki goes to get her teeth done. And I think most of actually the people on Jersey Shore got their teeth done. And a lot of actors get their teeth done, you know, and they get veneers and stuff. And I'm like, all right, how much is this going to hurt me? Because yes, I want to fix my teeth and I have 2 kids in college right now. And, you know, I don't want to be like stupid about the whole thing. But yet I want to do something nice for myself. And that's where the control comes in. There is a lot of control that you have over something cosmetic like your teeth. Even if it's not cosmetic, whatever. The point is, like, you know, they're putting crowns on or veneers or whatever, you know, they're not your actual teeth. But there is control there because, you know, you'll see what color it is that they're going to use before they actually put it on. You know, they can adjust stuff and whatever. And my dentist is fantastic. And I know that, like, when all is said and done, like, it's going to look fantastic. I still think I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I say this as, again, I'm on YouTube, but most people that know me really well don't watch my vlogs. I don't know why. It's very interesting. Or maybe they do and they just don't tell me. I don't know. But most people that I know don't watch my vlogs. Most of my views are from people that I don't know. But yeah, I don't think I want to tell anyone just because, like, in case I do look like Snooki when I'm done and be like, hello, and like, there's my white teeth. Everyone could be like, something's different. Like, did you get your hair color different? Maybe I'll time it with me coloring my hair, and that way people can't tell, like, what's wrong. Did she get a nose job? You know, I'm never changing my nose. I like my nose. But I can control that. So I'm waiting to hear what the estimate is first before I go nuts. But I'm like, you know what? Like, I turned 50 last year. I didn't have any like big shebang, you know, I didn't have a party at all, which sucked. I kind of wish that I did. I wasn't in a space to plan one myself, and it just didn't happen. The pandemic was still going on. People didn't want to get together, which I understand. But I'm like, I want to do something nice for me. And depending on what the estimate is, like, I'll have that done, and that will be something for me. And I mean, of course, yes, it's aesthetic, but it's also like, I feel like I'm just like Humpty Dumpty putting the pieces back together again. And, you know, I have control over the thing with my teeth. I can see kind of what they're going to look like before and after. And they're not going to be that much different from what they look like now, except that the gray ones won't be gray anymore. So that will be my treat to myself, which kind of brings me to the Lupron and the whole sex part. because, like, I don't have a partner right now. I don't mean like I'm having sex, but, with the pandemic, you know, obviously a lot of, like, dating really wasn't much of a thing in the pandemic because it's a pandemic. Like, I don't want to, you know, swap spit with somebody and then get COVID, like, again or something. So, but anyway, so yeah, if you have kids around, just put them to the side for now. Because even, like, you know, I've heard that women that have gone through breast cancer, then they're on medication or whatever, it affects your sex drive. I feel like I don't know if that's the case with me because I'm not with someone to kind of be pushed to have a large sex drive right now. I really wish, and if you know, please email me or put it in the comments. Or if you were watching through Facebook, you can message my invasive ductal carcinoma. You can just like PM me through Facebook. But I'm curious to find other women who are single, my age, and breast cancer survivors. You would think that would be a very specific niche, but like given the amount of people that get breast cancer, I would think that there's a pretty significant population that are single and my age. Because obviously if you're single and you're like, you know, in your 30s or something, you know, you're in a different space in life than where I am. Like I have 2 kids. They're now adults. My youngest one is now over 18. So I'm an empty nester with 2 adult children. Crazy. Maybe that's why I got the gray hair too, is like, just, it's been weird with them not being home. But, yeah, but every now and again, and it tends to happen before my Lupron. That's why, that's why I tie the 2 together. I don't know what it is, but there's something, ever since I started the Lupron, there's something that, like, about a week and a half before the Lupron, well, one of a couple of things could happen, and 2 that are tied together is my sex drive and like the sensory input thing. I'm having the sensory thing even right now. Like this shirt is cotton and this one is polyester, and I want to like rip this one off because the feeling of polyester on my skin right now is like nails on a chalkboard. And I'm just like, I don't know. There's something sensory that happens, which makes me think that, like, again, glass half empty, that once I'm off the Lupron, like my period's gonna come back. I don't know. Who the hell knows? That's that's not happening right now. But I wonder why my body still has these cyclical things before I have the Lupron injections. So yeah, it used to look like, you can rewind, vlogs ago, it used to look like I would, it started off with like Play-Doh would help, like just like massaging and playing with Play-Doh with like grippy stuff. And then it got to the point where it was almost like I needed like harsh input, like I wanted to punch a wall or something. And I would have these rocks and I would like rub them really hard, and almost to the point that my fingers would get like irritated, but like I needed to have some sort of input. It was just really strange. It's like a proprioceptive thing. And I don't know what the relation is with proprioceptive input and Lupron. I could look it up, I'm sure, but I have other things to do and I need to get back to work soon. So, but it's just interesting that I'm still having that like 12 months later. And it doesn't happen every month either. I don't know why. But I feel like my sex drive goes into this like big boost around the same time. Like I notice that the points where I feel like fooling around are pretty much right before my Lupron every time. So it's just interesting, the timing. I don't know, like I wonder if it's almost like a testosterone-y thing, because like since I don't have, the point of Lupron is to shut down your ovaries and to stop producing estrogen and stuff. So I don't know, like I wonder if not having estrogen, does that mean that whatever testosterone is in my body, because every person has both hormones from my understanding, that the testosterone part kind of takes over and it's like, you procreate, and that's why I have the, urges that I do. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that out of all these vlogs about, like, I'll be frank, I get like horny a lot right before the Lupron, and I don't know why. And I'm not going to have casual sex, A, because I don't want to have casual sex, and B, because, well, this is personal, it's the pandemic, and I'm not like, no. And C, because like my person would have to see these, and the person that gets to see these for the first time is going to be some very, very, very special person. And I'm not at that place right now. You'd have to pass quite a few prerequisites to be able to get up to that point. But it's not an and, it's a but. I have to tell you, like, I'll be straight here. Again, don't have the kids listen. Watching porn is hard. That sounded funny. Because I use the word porn and hard in the same sentence. I've always found porn kind of like corny. Oh God, if my kids are watching this, they'd be like, ah! I've always found porn kind of corny. And like almost like it's humorous at times. The weird thing after going through what I've been through is that I can't help looking at women's boobs when I watch porn. I get jealous that they have nipples. I get jealous that their nipples change as they're like climaxing, because mine used to do that too. And I know that like, I know, I'll have nipples put on, whatever, but they're not going to be reactive like my old ones were. And I had that nipple grieving thing, like when I found out that they couldn't save my nipples. And now it's like, it's reality now, because it's not like, it wasn't really a decision to make. If they had kept my nipples, I could have gotten cancer again. And why would I do that? I would never do that. That's just stupid. My cancer was too close to my nipple. It was like right under it. And it was too high up, like on the layers of skin. It was like too high up on the layers of skin. And if they put my nipple back on, it would just be like starting over again. And it just didn't make any sense. And I know that 3D nipple tattoo people look fantastic, and if you looked at the pictures, you can't even tell the difference. But they're still not real. So even after all that stuff is done, and I hear from plastics that like, once I have them done, I'm gonna feel like very different about my boobs, because they're gonna look more normal, obviously. And there are perks to not having nipples when it comes to clothing. So I'm not in a super big rush to have my nipples put on. But when I watch these women, like, fooling around with these men on, watching porn, I see their nipples doing stuff and men playing with them. And it just, I'm being, like, stupid vulnerable right now. But it's tough. I own nipple clamps. And I haven't gotten rid of them yet. There's no point in me having them. But it's like, why would I need them? Because it's not going to matter. I'll never have that feeling again. And that's so hard. I don't know if it sounds trivial to some of you, but like, it's so difficult to like have a feeling, like a physical feeling, and know that you will never, ever have that feeling again. And with it being a year out, like, I've done so much stuff to try to get feeling back. And I get that, like, if anything, the nipple area, I don't know how you would get feeling back. And it seems like the feeling as it's returning is kind of going from the outside in. And maybe in a couple of years I will. Maybe in a couple of years I'll look back at this and be like, oh, poor Jen, you thought this, but guess what? Your nipples, like, were just fine. And I do believe in the whole, like, phantom thing, too, or, like, maybe I don't really have sensation, but, like, it's a mind over matter thing where I remember what it felt like to have sensation there, and then, whatever. It's just, it's really hard to just watch other women's breasts on whatever, on, wherever you watch porn. And just know that, like, your nipples aren't even there anymore. And then their boobs. I mean, granted, yes, I have implants, so my boobs aren't saggy anymore. There's the pro to that. You know, I remember what my old boobs looked like. And, I mean, I'll have the left one tweaked a little bit, like the way the right one, after all the drama and stuff, the way the right one falls is like this perfectly round boob. You know, don't need an underwire bra. You know, I don't need a push-up bra. I mean, you do need to support them, but like, you know, yes, it looks way better than my original boob looked. And the left one will too once I have that one fixed. But when I go in certain angles with like obviously like when you're sitting, you know, your boobs sit a certain way. When I'm like doing yoga and I'm like on all fours doing like cat cow, you know, my boobs are hanging. So they look different. And there is a stark difference between my right and my left boob in certain positions. And I need to, as awkward as it's going to be to explain to him, I need to get into that and show my plastic surgeon so he can see. And I'm like, my right one doesn't do that. My left one does. The left one is more pliable. So I feel like that's why it's able to move more. And like, I'm sleeping on my left side a lot. And I feel like I'm just squashing my implant. And that's why it's not as like voluptuous as my right side is. Though every time I mention that, they tell me that's a load of crap. That's just not how it works. Yet, when I look at my boobs in certain angles, they look different from each other. And it's triggering when you like look down at your boobs and it's not sitting. It's like all fours basically. When they're hanging and you look down and you see that your boobs look significantly different from each other, it's a trigger because my boobs look different from each other, which was the only heads up that I really had that something was wrong. Again, I didn't have a lump with my breast cancer. The only thing that you could visually see was that my right side where the tumor was kind of like indented a little bit. It was almost like, instead of going like straight down, it kind of like curved in a little bit. I just thought I was losing like muscle because I was getting older. And I'm like, that's just what happens over time. But no, like that was where my tumor was. And I just didn't know that that's what it was. I think we're so ingrained. Like I've literally felt, like I felt somebody who had a lump in their breast, like I felt what that feels like. And it is like a hard pee. So I was expecting that, like, okay, every time you have cancer, it's going to feel like a hard pea or a rock or something in your boob. And that's not what mine was. I didn't have any lump at all. There was a tumor in there, you know, fairly sized one, but it wasn't a hard lump, bump, pea, rock, whatever. So that's hard. And I just, you know, I know that there's other women that are, and men too, that like, you know, I mean, you just want to hang as much, whatever, but like, you know, the sensations are just, it's different. Like when you're with a partner and you're like playing around, you know, it's like having the sensation of playing with your nipples is just like not a thing for me. And I get it's not the only thing. It just sucks. It sucks. And I'm happy that like I'll go back to plastics. I think next month is my follow-up with him, and then we'll talk about dates for when to schedule my surgery on the left side. It's funny because how I'm planning stuff out now. Like she's like, I had the runway event in October. I'm not messing with my feet or my teeth before the runway event. I had that in October. She said I can start your teeth the end of October and finish by the end of November. And then I have my Zameda in January. Don't want to mix together dental work with Zameda because you're not supposed to do that. And then I have to figure out the surgery based on like when the Zameda is done and I'm feeling like better. And I think I want my kids to do the surgery when my kids are home, so at least they can help, you know, take care of me a little bit. So yeah, I was going to talk about like rebooting stuff, but I'm already at 40 minutes, so I'll save that for another time. But I guess this is one way of me rebooting stuff, rebooting my life and what I can control, with my teeth, and then just, going to these appointments and hearing today that I had no cavities. And when the dentist came in and I'm like, are you sure? She's like, your x-rays are fine. I'm like, yeah, but like when I've been flossing, it's been getting stuck here. And she's like, no, that's not a cavity. That's this, whatever. So I have no cavities. So like her telling me I had no cavities was probably the most like excited like and pleasantly surprised that I've been. Like, not that I get cavities a lot, because I don't. Obviously those 6 were like, what the fuck? Why do I have 6 cavities? But it was like, yay, I did something right. I did something right, and I have no cavities. And right over a long period of time, because obviously cavities take time for them to, grow or decay, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to thank people too that are commenting on stuff. It means a lot to me to have people share their stories and stuff with me, and it's just very validating and stuff. And I feel like, at this point, there's a lot that like I just want to be open with, because I don't think I've come across stuff. And if there's stuff out there, please let me know. But like, I don't think I've really come across stuff where people are talking about like porn related to breast cancer, because people don't want to talk about that, whatever. That should be another gift, actually. So if my teeth are going to cost too much and I have to figure out like what to do with my teeth, maybe I should just go to the store and pick up some new toys or something. And that could be my gift. I don't know. The gift that keeps on giving. Get that and some large pack of batteries, and but I won't need them until like next month. I don't really know if that's true, but yeah, I don't know. You should be happy that we're here, like, yes, you have these porn stars with their boobs moving around, and I actually feel better when I see porn stars that have fake boobs, because I'm like, I can totally tell those are fake boobs because they look like mine. And they do that like without even having, to have to get fake boobs. I don't know. I'm burning up. I'm getting hot. I need to drink water and stop talking for now. Yeah. But if you guys know like any podcasts or I'm not a big book reader, but like vlogs or something, or blogs or whatever, from like people that are single, like middle-aged. I hate to say that word. I'm 50. Is that middle-aged? Is that past middle-aged? Whatever. And a breast cancer survivor, that would be helpful to just to hear someone else's story and where they are like further out. Yeah. So again, you can like comment if you want to be more private. You could just PM me on the Facebook page. Again, same name, invasive ductal carcinoma. I really need to find like better names that are more easily found, but I'm not here to make a business out of this. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Okay. Thanks for listening, and yeah, be good to yourself. Treat yourself with something today. That's my 2 cents. Treat yourself with something. Doesn't have to be veneers. It could be whatever it is. Talk to you next time. Bye.